Okay. As a future midwife and as a previous children's educator and lover of literature, I would like to share with you some examples of literature that is less than ideal to share with your children about the birds and the bees. So if there's young children in the room, you may want to send them away and watch this later, or not. It's up to you. But here we go. Our first example of literature is called Mommy Laid an Egg, or Where Do Babies Come From? By Babette Cole. There's our lovely cover. Well, said Mom and Dad, we think it's time we told you how babies are made. As you can see, the illustrations are somewhat decent. I love the way the parents look. Dad's got a lovely ponytail, a great mustache. Okay, we said. Girl babies are made from sugar and spice and everything nice, said Mother. And as you see, there are a bunch of babies in a bowl getting ready to be made into cake. Awesome! Boy babies are made from slugs and snails and puppy dog tails, said Dad. And there is the tails of the dog. Some babies are delivered by dinosaurs. You can make them out of gingerbread, said Mom. Sometimes you can just find them under stones, said Dad. And there's the little babies in the stone. Little gingerbread people. Awesome. You can grow them from seeds, said Mom. Babies. Seeds. Or just squeeze them out of tubes. Baby paste. Mommy laid an egg, said Dad. It exploded, and you shot out. Hee hee hee, ha ha ha, hoo hoo hoo. What a bunch of nonsense, we laughed. But you were right about the seeds, the tube, and the egg. We'll teach you how babies are really made. So now the children are going to educate the parents. This should be interesting. Mommies do have eggs. They are inside their bodies. And daddies have seeds in seed pods outside their bodies. The lovely mommy and the lovely daddy. Daddies also have a tube. The seeds come out of the pods and through the tube. The tube goes into the mommy's body through a hole. Then the seeds swim inside using their tails. So there's the daddy and the mommy. And as you can see, the little arrow says this fits in there. Here are some ways that mommies and daddies fit together. You can see graphically described in the drawings of a 6 or 7-year-old. Parents fitting together. When the seeds are inside the mommy, they start the great egg race. The winner gets the egg, and together the egg and seed grow into a very small baby. You can see in the illustration the sperm are saying, "Come on, boys!" And over here, the little sperm are racing, saying, "Gotcha!" And he was robbed. The baby gets bigger and bigger and bigger. The mommy gets fatter and fatter and fatter. As you can see, there's really no description of a womb, just a baby floating inside of the mother's emptiness. When it's ready, out pops the baby. So there's the baby popping out of the mom saying, "Hello, Mommy," because we all know that's what really happens. So now you know, say the children. And so does everyone else. The end. Again, that was Mommy Laid an Egg, a fabulous book by Babette Cole that we should not take seriously. Quite entertaining, but the facts are not quite straight. Another book I also found at the local library also explains the facts of life. It is called Where Willie Went, The Big Story of a Little Sperm by Nicholas Allen. There's little Willie with his swimming goggles. Willie was a little sperm. He lived inside Mr. Brown, just here. There's our friend Mr. Brown. He lived with 300 million other sperm, and they all lived in Mr. Brown at the same address. As you see here, they're all the little sperm friends living together happily in Mr. Brown. At school, Willie wasn't very good at math, but he was very good at swimming. So was Butch. Notice that all of Willie's friends are calling him an idiot. And then notice that Willie and Butch both have very masculine names that are appropriate to the story. Soon it would be time for the great swimming race. Willie practiced every day, because sperm practice swimming. But so did all the 300 million sperm. And so did Butch. So there's all his friends, and they're all practicing. There's little Butch, a little faster than the rest of the group. But there was only one prize, a beautiful egg. The egg was inside Mrs. Brown, just here. There's our lovely Mrs. Brown and her egg with the ribbon for first prize. If there are 300 million sperm in the race, how many will you have to beat to win the egg? The teacher asked. 300 million. 10? said Willie. He wasn't very good at math, but he was very good at swimming. It's so nice that they, point out the good qualities of people. Everybody has their own talents. At last the day of the great swimming race arrived. The teacher gave them all a pair of goggles, and a number, and 2 maps. Here's their goggles and numbers. The first map showed inside Mr. Brown. The second map showed inside Mrs. Brown. It says, follow arrows to the treasure. So there's our maps. 2 inside Mr. Brown and Mrs. Brown. That very night, Mr. and Mrs. Brown joined together. The teacher cried, "Go!" and the great swimming race began. And there's the race starting because the teacher of the sperm told them to go. A little iffy there. Willie swam and swam with all his strength, but so did Butch. Willie swam as if his life depended on it, yet so did Butch. Butch was catching up. How much further did Willie have to go? He didn't know. He wasn't very good at math. And there they are in their race. But he was the best at swimming. Hurrah! There's the finish line. And our hero Willie reaching across slightly before Butch. Hurrah! The egg was lovely and soft. Willie burrowed all the way in until he disappeared. Oh no, what's happening to our hero? Then something strange happened. Something wonderful. Something magical. Something inside began to grow. It grew and it grew and it grew until the egg, bigger than the egg, and then it grew some more until it grew bigger than Mrs. Brown's tummy. So now we're saying the babies are bigger than tummies. So Mrs. Brown's tummy grew bigger instead. It grew and it grew until the baby was born. It was a little girl. They called her Edna. There's the tummy. There's little Edna. Where had Willie gone? Who knows? But when Edna grew into a little girl and went to school, she found out she wasn't very good at math. There's Edna. She's not very good at math. Sounds like something familiar. But she was very good at swimming. The end. So this book projects human characteristics onto sperm and then says that those sperm characteristics are then in turn put on the child, which is somewhat true. But this book does it in a very confusing and somewhat inaccurate way. Let's just make an agreement to teach our children the facts and be straightforward about it and honest about parts with real names, real qualities, and let's leave these books for coffee table humor. I'd like to thank Nicholas Allen and Babette Cole for the entertainment, as well as my local library for stocking these books. Thank you.